Hi everyone, this is Katie, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about Quizlet. This is a technology I've not used in my classroom. In this assignment for AAP 880, I've been trying to find technologies that are new to me that I haven't used before so that hopefully I can add them into my classroom this coming school year. I chose Quizlet because it looked fun, easy to use. I'd heard great reviews about it. It works with any subject area or content area. It works for any grade level, for any age group, and it definitely allows for differentiation, and that really appeals to me. It's versatile and it's free. There is an upgraded version, but I feel like the free version has plenty to work with. Like I said, the objectives would be for subjects like math, grammar, social studies, science. Really, it's anything that you would want to work on because you can use pre-made sets, study sets, or you can make your own study set. So it can really be any content area that you would like to use. They can also play games on here and join in live with classmates. So I thought that was really neat too. The audience for this would be the students, obviously, but also parents if they want to play at home with the students, or coworkers at a professional development to show them how they could utilize Quizlet in their own classroom. The ISTE standards that I felt pertained to Quizlet were the Educator Standard 5A, which is use technology to create, adapt, and personalize learning experiences that foster independent learning and accommodate learner differences and needs. I feel like it met this standard because you can make your own sets, so you can definitely tailor their learning to whatever they're struggling with or whatever skill level they are on. So if you have a few of them that need to work on verbs, but some of them are already working on irregular verbs, you can kind of tailor that to whatever they need. Also, it meets the standard E7A, which is provide alternative ways for students to demonstrate competency and reflect on their learning using technology. I felt like it met this standard because it will provide reports for the teacher and lets the teacher kind of reflect on where the students are at, and then they can conference with the students and talk about how they felt that went, what do they need to work on, and things like that. I'm going to go ahead and just go through this real quick and show you some steps you can take to make your own study set here on Quizlet and how the games and things work like that. So I'm going to go ahead and go to search. Um, right here you can make your own. I don't feel like I have time in this video, but you would go to create a set, and I might be able to walk you through that here in a little bit. But I'm going to find a pre-made one first. So I'm going to go to antonyms here. And then it does pop up a bunch of different games. So you can kind of scroll through and see which one looks like the grade level. So it gives you samples of what the words would be. So like here, these might be too high for primary level. These look more like maybe third, fourth, fifth grade antonyms. But down here for my second graders, maybe these might be a little easy, but that's okay. It might be an introduction. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one here. Okay, and so now I've chosen a set that they can work on. So they can have flashcards. So they can just go through on their end and look at the flashcards. You can make it bigger. So then it says young, and they're just going to try to think of the antonym. Oops. And then old, and it flips. Okay, and then it's just like flashcards. Difficult, easy. And so they can go through and practice that. There's also, they can shuffle them, and the play just goes on its own. Okay, so those are the flashcards. They can also do the learn activity where they go through and it will kind of give them a little lesson here. So something is new and something is, and then they have to pick the antonym there, and it'll go through. It looks like there's 47 here. Then they can also write. So if it gives, we're working on antonyms, so safe, so they would have to type the answer. Dangerous or unsafe. I would say maybe dangerous. We'll try that. Yep. Okay. And so it'll tell them if they're correct or not, and then they would just go to the next one. That's the writing part. Spelling, it will And you won't be able to hear it because my screencast-o-matic won't let me record the computer sound, but it said hurt, so they will type the word that they hear. Kind of just some practice there, okay? That's the spelling part. There's a test, okay? And so they'll just have to type the answers, and then once they finish, it'll report that back to the teacher. Also, they can play games here with it. So we have a matching game where they just have to match the word to the antonym, and then they disappear. So clean, dirty, heavy, light. Okay, and as you go, they disappear, and then it tells you what your time was. And then it gives you a challenge to try to beat someone, your personal record or someone else's personal record. So we're not going to play again, but you can. Then there's also another game called Gravity, and you can kind of put the parameters on this. So you can answer with the definition, random. For my little ones, I would just have them answer with the term, and I would probably do easy for them. And then basically it's just going to send a word down, and before it hits you, you have to pick the antonym. So I'm going to say sweet, enter, and then it gives me a score over here. Okay, so that's that game. Then finally, I wanted to show you the live part. So you can create a game with other students in your class or really anyone who has the code. So we're going to use the same set to play the game. And I'm going to hit create. And then here's the code. So you're going to go to quizlet.com/live, or your students are. They can do this on Chromebooks, iPads, whatever you have. 361394. So 361, oops, 394. Okay. And then they're going to hit continue and type my name. It's already there. Okay. And then, so I am in the game, and then it'll show me on the teacher side, it shows me that Katie has joined the game. It won't let you play until you have enough students. Um, so we would wait for two more students to come, and then it would start the game. You can also use the QR code if you'd like to use that for your students on their iPad. And then once they're in, they can play games with each other, and I like that because you can kind of tailor it and have us work in small groups and maybe at centers. And this center, here's your code for the day on Quizlet, and they can play those games. So I really like that. So that is just an example of Quizlet, just a antonym set, but like I said, um, there's a million sets on here. Some of them it does say you have to pay for, but most of them that I've found so far are free. You can also create folders. So if I want to put my antonyms, I like this one. I want to put it in a folder. I can put it over here. If I want to create a class on here for that data, I could do that. I have not done that yet. I will say that. You can create a set too. So if I create it, I'm going to go here, I make a name for it. I'll just make an antonyms one. Okay, so then I need two currents. Okay, so then what we're going to do is you have to choose an image. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay. All right. So you can create your own sets here too. Um, yeah, and that's what I've found so far. I'm definitely not an expert on this because I have not used it in my classroom yet, but I would love to hear any suggestions that you guys have on it. But I think it looks really neat and an easy way to differentiate in my classroom using technology. Thank you.